to do so next year and beyond. So we don't want to spend all our assets in any one year. And in approaching this, we will continue to work together with the independent elected officials and department directors, our staff and our unions, to make sure that we're working together for a common future, being open and fair with one another, and communicating in an open fashion about this. And so today's briefing is really just to launch that process. We have a track record of cooperation, I think, that we can draw on. So first of all, let me state that I'm still keeping my fingers crossed that March revenues will come in high enough that we can exhale a little bit. But in the event that March revenues do not rise to where we hope to see them, we've been in this position before, and just a year ago, we were actually confronting the county was confronting a $1 million projected revenue shortfall from the adopted 2009 budget. And we rose to the occasion. It was hard work, but we collaborated between the branches of government, between the electeds and the directors, with our staff, with our labor unions, and we successfully put together a strategy to respond, and we did it, so that the budget was in fact a balanced budget. So I guess my comment is that we have a good foundation of dealing with these kinds of difficult problems should the need arise, that I think we can do it. In looking forward, the first step will be to work with the different branches and departments to firm up our revenue and expenditure projections between now and the end of the month, and begin to think through contingency plans in the event that March revenues don't reach the point that we hope they will. And in doing so, we will consult actively with our independent electeds and directors, as well as the three commissioners. We'll initiate discussions with our labor unions, that's United Food and Commercial Workers and Teamsters. And by the end of this month, we will have updated sales tax and other revenue figures that flow through the state. With those numbers, we'll be in a position to see if there is, in fact, a projected general fund revenue gap that we can foresee at this time. And if there is, we'll use that to set some budget goals, again, if March revenues require us to do so. We'll work with our electeds and directors on plans for meeting those goals, and again, depending on what the March picture looks like, if we need to, we'll be prepared to take action and implement plans as early as May 1. And through the process, we'll continue to communicate with you and our electeds and our directors, our staff, and our labor unions and the public. So I'm not clanging cymbals and banging drums at this point. It's too early to draw a conclusion that we will need to act in this way, but want you to know that we are watching and making sure that this administration is prepared in cooperation with our colleagues to do so.
Well, thank you. I'm reminded that our REIT, as you talked about that, the historical high was a lot higher than what we had today. We've always used that to fund our capital debt, and had the practice of using the extra only on one-time things rather than increasing that capital debt, which has proven to be a really good strategy, considering that we're almost down to a third of what the historical high was. Best laid plans, you know. It's good we've stuck with that and not increased our capital debt in that regard. You know, in terms of collaborating with the other elected officials, it came out last week in the budget committee meeting that you know, many of our decisions actually affect the budget as we go through. And even though we took a lot of time to study the DNR proposal and a very complicated system of reconveyance and state trust land transfers, a lot of detail to those, and feel really comfortable that you know, we're not giving away the farm. Everybody wasn't a part of all those discussions and all that work with DNR, even though it was open here in this room. There was a lot of information others didn't have. It's a difficult thing to decide how much information to give and when to give it, because there's a lot of situations like that where we take the time to look and see how it's going to affect other governmental entities and other departments. And it takes a while to come to those decisions, and then we also have decisions that are still in progress, like Forest Park still being negotiated, and people are still looking at that land for affordable housing, and that's still an open issue. So certainly want to include the others as much as possible. It's been a good collaboration so far. Appreciate it.
I think it's important to note that the Forest Park and the property for affordable housing is just coming to us as proposals at this point. There's been no